Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me at my office here in the trees in Anchorage, Alaska, where I'm coming to you live to talk about fear or faith. And I'm going to keep an eye. I'm live streaming from my Zoom platform. And I see one person joining. If you're just joining me here in my office in the trees here in Anchorage, Alaska, please comment below. I would love to know where you're joining in from. And I'm leaving the back shade open because we've had some active wildlife around here. Yesterday, had a whole pack of coyotes running outside my window. Not one, not two, not three, but 5 coyotes ran by the window. And so I'm trusting that Chansey is going to be a good girl and not let out a huge bark. So thank you, thank you, thank you. We're going to talk about fear over faith, faith over fear, faith or fear today. And I've got a couple things I want to show you behind me. I want to share with you. So again, if you are just joining in, please comment below. Also, if you're joining on my YouTube channel, I would love for you to share this if it resonates with you and comment as well. I was being interviewed for somebody's podcast today, and we were talking a lot about creating this life that is rich and fulfilling and rewarding. And he was asking me really specific questions, and I thought I'd share some of them with you. On my vision map that I have, which that's one of the things that I teach is vision mapping. And on mine, I have ripple of change. And what that means, and by the way, vision mapping is essentially creating a detailed, intentional plan to get you from where you are to where you want to be. And I've had some amazing conversations this week with some amazing people about the vision mapping. And a few questions came up, like, what if I don't know where I want to be? But I know I don't want to be where I'm at right now. Vision mapping is a great place to start. Another question is, what if I have no focus? I'm unsure of my goals. Like I don't have a clear plan of, showing up for this vision mapping framework and where I want to go. And this is perfect for you. If you have a desire to be somewhere different than you are, vision mapping is a great starting place for men and for women. For women, there's a couple different options, one being a quarterly workshop next week, which I'll pop the link in the comments below when I finish here. And if you're watching this on YouTube, I do quarterly vision mapping workshops for women. So on my vision map, I have, and I'll show it to you, ripple of change for this year. And that's all I'm going to show you on mine, because then it's got everything else on it there, which I can go into if you want me to. So what ripple of change means for me, and I spend a lot of time when doing these vision maps with you on the core essence of your being. We spend a lot of time on that core, because that core, everything else that you create on that vision map goes back to the core. And if you're not aligned with the core, then you're going to really have some struggles and challenges, and maybe even toss the vision map. So we spend a great deal of time on that core, and my core is ripple of change. And what that means, my core, what that means to me is, an example, yesterday I was sitting here in my office and there's piles everywhere. I got back from a week off. I took a complete week off. It was wonderful. And there's literally piles. My desk's a mess right now. There's just piles everywhere. And I was sitting here And instead of taking one thing off the pile at a time, I took a nap. I asked my husband to bring cheeseburgers home, and I watched a series on Amazon Prime last night. So, and I was having anxiety throughout the day. My heart was palpitating. I was wondering why I was feeling off. And so that's fear. That's fear for me. And so I can look at my vision map, which sits right there and says ripple of change in big letters in the center. And I can ask myself, am I being a ripple of change today? Meaning, am I giving to, am I being a part of something bigger than myself, or am I in fear? And the only way that I know how to get out of fear, the only way that I know, others have taught me, that I've practiced for 23 plus years, is to take action. And it's often actions opposite of how I'm feeling. So that ripple of change sort of jolts me and reminds me to get out of self, to give, to be of service, to be productive in society, to take actions opposite of sitting here in fear. And so yesterday, in between watching TV, I reached out and called a mentor in my life that I hadn't talked to. Gosh, she was very instrumental 23 years ago and helping me with businesses. And I called her and asked her how she was doing. She has a business that really caters to a lot in the Arctic and Russia. And she's been heavy on my heart. And so we talked for about 2 hours. And it wasn't about my fears. It was asking her questions about her life and her business. So it was doing the opposite. It was being the ripple of change. So that's how the vision mapping starts and sort of works. And it's powerful. What I've seen happen with people, and I've recently started working with couples. I had a couple connect with me and ask, he was really looking for a coach, and then the three of us had a conversation, and I ended up spending a day with them, and they completed their 6-month out vision map. They're looking to retire. And so their 6-month plan is creating ways to help them in the process of their retirement. And it was fantastic. It was 5-6 hours that we spent. They were able to complete their vision map so that they can start taking these tasks and doing these actions to be where they want to be. And with that being said, it's great to have a plan and to take actions. And then another piece is the letting go and the trusting and the faith that the God of your understanding, whatever that is, whatever religion you believe in, something outside of yourself wants you truly to be happy and filled up with joy. Because when you're happy and you're able to be filled up with joy, you're able to give. You're able to help other people. You're able to generate income so that you can help other people, right? So, yeah, so I do vision mapping both with women, and I've recently started working with couples, and it's great, rewarding work. Now, why the photo there? I was sharing with the fellow who interviewed me today, Bob, and he asked for some examples of how the vision mapping works. I've had people take the vision mapping that have had an idea or a dream or a goal in mind, like for years and years. And they did the work through the vision mapping framework. And they realized that all the actions that they had put down to get to that goal, that dream, that vision, they were not willing to take. And that may sound like, oh, well, what's the point of that? The point is, they were able to let that dream, that vision, that goal go after years of having it in their head and thinking that was where they wanted to go. They were able to let it go once they were able to see all the steps that it was going to take to get them there. They realized that's not what I want to do. And they were able to be free to attract what they really wanted to do. And they have found what that is for them. So how many nights do you wake up thinking about something that you had wished you had done or that you want to do, but you're not taking any actions? Or you think about something and you think about something and you think about it, and then you wake up the next day and you're scrolling on social media and you see one of your good friends had that same idea and they're taking actions and they're succeeding at that, whatever that is, right? It's happened to me. So the vision mapping gives you clarity. It allows you focus. It allows you to really tap in to your heart and lead with your heart. Does that mean it's going to be easy? No. Does that mean it's going to be pain-free? No. Does that mean that you might have to do other things that are really hard to get to that goal? Yes. So this cool photo, a piece of art that I have here, is something my husband, and it's dirty, I guess I need to clean it. It's something my husband and I got when we were in Kona a couple years ago. And I really thought that I wanted us to have a place in Kona or in Hawaii. So I got this piece of art and it hangs, literally hangs right behind my screen here that I'm looking at. So it's on the wall right here. And I look at it 100 times a day. Even if I'm not looking at it, it's pretty big and it's right there on my wall. And so we got that about 3 years ago. And I started talking about ocean property and living on the ocean. And I started looking at properties and dragging my husband to look at properties all over. You know, I'd just glance online. I'd glance all over the map. Fast forward to today. We were able to buy a condo in Mexico. Mexico was not even on my map. I didn't even look at Mexico. My husband and I spent our honeymoon 16, almost 17 years ago at this condo that we were able to buy in Mexico. It was gifted to us from a client from my very first business that I had called Rub-a-Dub Dog 22 years ago. And that client was instrumental in helping me grow that business. And then I met Bobby and we got married, and they had bought this condo and they had renovated it. And she said, here, happy honeymoon, go for your honeymoon. We never went back. And one day I saw her posting photos of whales with babies in front of the condo. And I was like, oh, I didn't even know there were whales in Mexico in front of your condo. And she said, yeah, they're here often. And then a couple of weeks later, she said, hey, does anybody want to buy this condo? We're buying a house down the street. And my husband and I looked at it. We went back and forth. We wrote pros, we wrote cons. We asked a couple trusted friends, some thoughts, some ideas. We decided we would pass on it. We prayed about it. We really turned it over. We let it go. And literally doors flew wide open. Like even some of the women in my life that I run a whole bunch of things by, they couldn't believe it. They were like, I guess you're supposed to be there, like that. And I'd be like, here's another sign, and this happened and this happened. Like, okay, we're gonna go check it out. And that was what we did. And guess what? There's a volcano near us too. And I didn't even know that till like the third trip there. And I'm like, of course there's a volcano. There's a volcano in the photo that I look at every day. Is that woo-woo? I don't know. I don't know. I know that's my life. And that's what's happened for me from doing vision mapping, from teaching others. And I can go on and tell you stories about people that have done these vision maps and how their lives have changed. They've moved, they've gotten married, they've sold businesses, created businesses, grown 2, 3 businesses. And again, it's not a magic wand, which I do have. I have a magic wand because when things get rough, I like to pull it out and wave it to be reminded to not take myself so darn seriously, and that there are miracles around us everywhere, and that everything in life we get to choose fear or faith. We get to choose. And is it going to be easy? Not always. Is walking in faith going to be walking through rainbows and butterflies? Probably not at all times, although I was thinking that same thing. It's not always rainbows and butterflies. When I was walking, one of the first visits to our condo, I was alone and I was walking down this road and there were literally these white butterflies that they call angel butterflies, and they were flying all around me. And I just started laughing. I'm like, what? Whoever said it can't be rainbow and butterflies, rainbows and butterflies? Everything that I know to be true and that I get to teach others is about creating an intentional plan. Intentional meaning, how is whatever you want in your life going to enhance the lives of others? Because when I was in real estate and I was aiming to make $160,000 goal, I forgot that piece. How is this going to help others? How's this going to help my marriage? How is this going to help my family? How is this going to help others? I forgot that piece. I just kept aiming for more money. And I was miserable. The money kept coming and I was miserable. So if you can put an intention on your goal, on your dream, on your vision, and ask yourself, how is this going to enhance the lives of others? The chances of you taking those actions to get where you think you want to be are easier than if you don't have that intentional thought or idea. If you have accountability in place, meaning people outside of your household that aren't vested in you, right? They can speak the truth to you. They can hurt your feelings. They can help you to keep moving forward, because the you know what will hit the fan at one point or another. You will hit that point where you're wondering why you're doing what you're doing, and they can either help guide you back on your pathway or help you pivot. And then measuring your forward momentum, measuring that you actually, I don't like that word, measuring that you are moving forward. And if you're moving backwards, what do you need to do to keep moving forward? So those are the essential ingredients with a few examples. I wanted to share that with you because this interview today with this wonderful fella, and it will be coming out soon, just reminded me of what a gift that I get to share with you, and I get to work with people. He asked me, he said, what kind of people do you work with, or who are those clients? And I said, you know, they're people that come to me in conversation that are retired, are looking for something more. They're looking for something more. They're looking to be fulfilled, to get out of bed happy, joyful, looking forward to the day. Those are the people that I work with. They have an open mind and they're willing to take chances and to take risks and to be guided on the journey of creating their very own vision map. If you know somebody, or if it's you, please feel free to reach out to me either by private message, or you can go to my website, see more of who I am, alaskatracy.com. I do women's quarterly vision mapping workshops. I have one next week. If you bring a friend, it's half off, as well as working with couples on creating their vision mapping. If you know somebody that's struggling right now, please share my message with them. I'm a recovering alcoholic of 23 years. I came from a place of feeling hopeless and helpless. I have hope today and most days. I have tools for walking in faith instead of fear, and I want to share them with those that might be struggling, maybe looking for something more in business and or life. Thank you everyone for listening, sharing, commenting, and reaching out. Have a great day.